folks, it's 7:50. I got one client in the morning, which is actually quite lucky. Then I can train myself. Find my t-shirt. Yeah, I had a really good weekend. Nicole was here. We had some fun going out because the sun was out. Anyway, I'm gonna train chest today, and I mean overhead pressing. Not overhead, like incline bench pressing is one of my tasks today. Yeah, I feel actually quite strong this week, which is good because last week was just a disaster in terms of training. In terms of training, I actually hit the gym like I told you in some videos before. The motivation was down. I still went to the gym, so I did what needed to be done. But yeah, I just felt like a piece of poop, like the poop emoji. No more poop emojis here. So I'm gonna train my client, I'm gonna train myself, and I've got 5 or 6 more people later in the afternoon. So that's my day today. I'll see you guys when I train. Oh, I like the shine. Can you see how tired I still am? Alright, we know the drill by now. Okay, ready for incline bench pressing. That was it. Here we go. So before I'm training, I'm actually gonna go out and grab a coffee, like a double espresso. That's the way to go. Normally there's sun out, but yeah, not today. The frickin' sun is missing. So here's a little one for you, or something new. You know, I used to use boosters. You can buy them with more or less any sort of supplement company you want. And there are 2 main ingredients in there. One is ALA and the other one is basically caffeine. ALA, what it supposedly does is it widens your blood vessels, therefore more blood is available to your muscle and stuff like that. I mean, there's research backing that up, and it's a way of getting a pump, so to speak. But some people overdose this stuff. They just, because I'm not a fan of the supplement industry because it's not regulated. You can basically put in there whatever you want. I just got an email recently of a Chinese company saying, we do anabolic steroids, what kind of mixture would you like? And I'm like, fucking hell, man, this can't be true, right? So basically in China, what they do, they say they create like an anabolic steroid mixture, whatever you want in it, and then it's then sent out to you. It's repackaged in a way, so I could put on my own branding, saying it's called Marc Dressen Personal Training Steroid Package, whatever, shit like that, and then you would buy it, right? And then the other thing is also, because it comes from China, you have no idea if what they're saying is actually in this white powder, so you're just horking it out, hoping that that's what it says. So that's why the easiest way of getting a booster in the morning is by just drinking coffee. Like, you know, the purest form of caffeine you can get, in my opinion, is just drinking a double espresso or 1 espresso, and then hit the freaking gym. Hit the freaking gym hard. See, I don't even need a booster. I'm fully pumped today. Sleep helps as well, right? Just knock yourself out at night, go to sleep, and then have fun. Alright people, so I'm heading out now to get some food in the tank, and yeah, as we do that, I'm probably going to talk about food, because food is such a big topic about, you know, when we talk about weightlifting and, you know, getting in shape, and especially on the superhero challenge. Now here comes the funny one. So Nicole was here, right, as you probably know, and we went out. So we went out to get a lot of food, and actually a lot of food. So You probably see it on Instagram, some pictures. So she says today in the morning, Nicole and we had like a little exchange on the phone, and then she said, you know what, it's really funny, I didn't gain any weight. And I'm like, well, the main reason why people don't gain weight but eat a certain amount of food is because the metabolism is really working out well. And this is where people get confused. They're like, you know, everyone says, you know, exercise more, eat less. Yeah, of course that works, but only to a certain extent, because what happens is as you start eating less over a long period of time, your metabolism, or when we talk about metabolism, means how many calories your body burns at rest, your metabolic rate, basal metabolic rate, that goes down as well, because your muscle works less effective, and therefore that's a bad thing. So you want to make sure that you keep fueling your body with a lot of food, work out hard, sleep well, and then you don't really have to worry too much about the food you're eating. Obviously you do have to worry about it. Like, I'm not saying you can just go crazy and nuts, but tracking it is also a really big one. So tracking your food intake in a way that when you see all of a sudden you're gaining, let's say 1 or 2 kg, or let's say more than 2 kilograms a week, then you know there's something wrong, right? I mean, you shouldn't be gaining that much weight in a bulking phase. In a bulking phase, you want to gain something like 500 grams, like half a kilo to maybe a kilo if you're lucky, but that's not all going to be muscle. I think the normal relation would be something like, if you're lucky, 50-50. Otherwise, you're probably going to gain a little bit more fat than muscle normally. If you do take any steroids, then it's obviously probably 100% muscle and 0% fat. But here you go, golden Lambo. I love it. And here you can see these guards standing there. I think the Prime Minister or someone lives here. So they've got machine guns and everything. So long story short, important is that you work out 100%. Like I said in the last video, it's 100% your diet and it's 100% your workout. So cutting your diet short when you try to gain weight, like bulking, doesn't make any sense. So you need to make sure you eat like I am at the moment. And you can see I'm making progress. I'm making really good progress in the gym. It only works because I actually put a lot of effort into... Whoa, this is very slippery now. I put a lot of effort into my workouts, but that only works because I eat a lot of food. So these are really linked together. So then make sure that you don't cut one short. All right, here we are. It's called Abasto. This is where we're gonna have some food. Hey, yeah. I'm just gonna sit here, if that's okay. Nice, nice, nice.
Future is set, it is mine for the taking. Spending a lifetime living a life made up. I need to wake up.
All right, my friends, so I'm on my way back to the gym and I'm on my scooter. You see the flowers at the top? I'm gonna try to drive a bit slower because this is something I do in the UK quite often. Let's see. So I'm gonna pass them now. Ooh, yeah. It's like a nice thing. Oh my God. I need to show you this, guys. It's my new car, by the way. I'm gonna switch from this guy to that guy. Alright, my friends, I just arrived back home. I'm gonna set up my PC right now to upload all the videos for today. And yeah, let me think. There was something I wanted to discuss with you. Give me a sec. Boom! Shake the room, guys! I'm back! As you can see. I like this crap. So, what I want to talk about, and this is something I think might be of interest to you, is when we talk about goal setting or how to achieve certain things in life, and it doesn't really matter what it is. I want to share how I do this because I was just lying in bed. I was doing what I normally do to whatever it is in life. So I've got something very specific coming up for myself, which I can't share right now, but it's something I want in life. I want for myself. And the way I do this is, and this is true for myself at least, it has worked for everything in my life, for love, money, health, basically any topic in your life, it really works. It might sound a bit woo-woo to you, maybe like this might be too off the charts for you guys, And that's okay. I'm just gonna share how this works for me, and you know, you can take it or leave it, or you know, more or less leave a comment in the comment box below if this has worked for you. Or so I sort of visualize in my, you say your third eye, right? Your third eye is your mind. So it's this thing of when you close your eyes, can you still see, let's say, a blue car, right? So the easiest way of doing it is basically looking at something. Let's say you look at a blue car and then you close your eyes and you're going to try to visualize that blue car in your head. I don't know why I use a blue car. Let's use a pink elephant or whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? So whatever I try to give you as a cue, when you close your eyes right now, and I say to you, think of a yellow monkey, can you think of a yellow monkey? Well, the problem with that is most of the time, when you come up with something which doesn't exist, like a yellow monkey or a pink elephant, the hard thing is you might not be able to visualize it because you have no idea how it looks like. So your mind has to create it. Easier would be to say, think of a glass of water, right? Glass of water is something we all have seen in our lifetime. Well, I assume we have. So it doesn't matter how that glass of water looks like, but when you close your eyes, you might be able to see that glass of water, or at least get a sense of what it is. So now that's the first exercise. You need to be able to do this, that this whole thing works. So what I now do is I future pace that. Future pace means I think of something I haven't achieved in my life, and I'm gonna try to experience how that feels like if I would have it. So for example, when I was a personal trainer, well, I am a personal trainer obviously, but you know, my business wasn't as good. I was thinking, how would that look like if I had 10 clients every day? What would that feel like? What would I be doing every day? So in a sense, what you then do is you close your eyes and you think like, okay, I'm this busy personal trainer. What would that look like? Well, I get up very early in the morning, then I have these sessions, and then I would actually think of people I would be training, like the kind of client I want. And you know, I would sort of repeat that whole day in my head and try to live it without actually having lived it, if that makes sense. And the funny thing with our brain is what it does. It gives you even these sensations. So for example, you might feel happier while doing that because with having more clients, I had more money. So if I had more money, I had more freedom. So I could do more things I like to do. So this was the thing which worked for me really well in terms of my business. And in terms of health, it works as well. So you could think of, okay, I mean, in health, it's the easiest sometimes if you, for example, with my clients, what I say to them is when they come to me and say, I want to lose weight, I want to be in the best shape of my life. I'm like, okay, can you think of a time in your life where you had that body shape you want? And they're like, yeah, when I was 18, I was in pretty good shape. So, and now they're, let's say 35. So I would say, okay, so how does your 18-year-old self look like? Describe it to me. And then they might have a picture. And I said, okay, now, and this is really great for a client when you work with a client, because you would say, okay, can you picture yourself being that body shape again? Because you've been it before. And he says, yeah, sure, I can. So we've got a tangible sort of feeling for that person. So I would say, okay, close your eyes and tell me, what does this 18-year-old guy, we'll take a guy for now as an example, what would he be doing? What would you be doing as an 18-year-old, you know, asking the 35-year-old guy, so what would change? And he would say, well, when I was 18, I was training twice a day, or I was training, I don't know, was in the rugby team, and I would be eating this, and I would be hitting the gym, and I would date girls all day, and I don't know, whatever, right? So they come up with this storyline, what they would be doing. And I said, so, okay, so how's that different to what you're doing? And they're like, well, I'm not doing any of that. And I say, see, that's why you don't have that body shape. So let's get on to it. Let's get you back into that shape. And the reason why that works so well for people is because they've got this feeling of it. They know how it feels like to have that body. And then you can get them from, as a personal trainer, from A to B really, really easy. It gets harder if you had someone who's obese, let's say, who's really big and has been big his whole life and wants to be that body shape because they have no idea how that feels like. So for them, it's going to be like this whole thing, like the yellow monkey thing. They have to envision themselves, let's say, looking like David Beckham or whoever they fancy, right? And say, okay, that's how I want to look like. So that's going to be a bit of harder sort of thing to do. But yeah, that's sort of how I do this. Pretty simple. I think of the thing I want. I envision myself doing it, or already, you know, like when you, for example, a car is really easy. So you think of a car you want, and instead of saying, oh, I wish I had that car, which really is not really going to work, what you say is, I'm going to drive this car, or I am driving this car. You have to watch your language as well. This is really interesting, because language determines what you actually believe. Because if you say, you know, one day I will drive a Ferrari, yeah, that one day will never come. It's like having one day I'll be skinny, one day I'm gonna have a six-pack, right? This one day, as we know, is never gonna come. So you have to be very specific with language. The most powerful words in our language is I am. I know this is quite a long video, but bear with me here. If this is interesting to you, just keep watching. All right, so what I'm talking about when I talk about why is I am so powerful is because there's a concept which I learned it from a guy called Robert Dilts. He's actually a coach to Tony Robbins, and he came up with something called the logical levels. Now you're gonna see now a pyramid, which we're gonna blend in here. And at the very top, it has been developed over time. So at the very top, you've got the actual purpose. Then comes identity, beliefs, capabilities, behavior, and environment. Now the interesting bit is that to all of these parts of the pyramid is also a wording. So for example, the identity is I am. And so here's why this is so powerful. Because you say something like, you say, I am Mark, or I am a builder. You know, I'm a taxi driver, I'm a bus driver, I'm a dentist, I'm a something. So the word I am is so strong connected to your identity. And that's why knowing who you are is so important. Now, once you know who you are, you want to be part of something. And that's why the purpose is even higher, because you want to know what are you part of. So once you know who you are, you want to know, okay, what am I part of? Beliefs is also an interesting one. It's because what do you believe about yourself? And you know, you've got limiting beliefs and stuff like that. So if we talk about NLP, which I studied as well, and I'm an NLP coach, we could go into more depth of all of this. But what I want to try to portray within this video, not making it too long, is that words are important. And even if you think words or sentences about yourself is really, really interesting. A good one is money. It doesn't really matter. It could be money, could be health, could be whatever you think about yourself. I'll just take both of these examples. So for example, in health, if someone comes to me who's overweight and they have beliefs like, well, I've always been fat, right? Or I cannot lose weight. These are beliefs. This is something you believe about yourself, which might not be true, but people have been saying that. Let's say your mom or your dad has said, you've been fat, you're a fatto, you're a fatso, or whatever, right? So, or friends have been calling you names and stuff like that. So you start believing that about yourself. So it's really hard to change that mentality in your head because you haven't seen any success with it. And that's like a limiting belief. So because it's limiting you to get the result you want. Because for example, if you believe that you're fat and there's no way on earth that's gonna change, guess what? You're hitting the gym and nothing is changing because you're not giving your all you could in the gym, or you're lacking in your diet. Your little things are creeping up. Your unconscious mind is gonna try to sabotage your actual outcome of what you want to achieve. So the money, it's really interesting because we have beliefs about money which are also limiting. So for example, if you believe stuff like, you know, I can only earn that much money, or I'm not worth earning that money or having that money, or I can't afford it. That's a really good one. Stuff like that, or this is too expensive to me, or you know, money doesn't grow on trees. These are all like things you have heard from other people, and you manifest that in your head and you start believing it. That's going to hold you back from getting it. So for example, there's this guy called Grant Cardone. He went outside and on the street, he just asked people, like for example, what I just said. So money doesn't grow on, or money doesn't grow on, right? And then the other person tried to finish the sentence, like says on trees, or rich people are. And obviously there is no saying for that, but people started saying evil. Rich people are evil, rich people are bad, rich people are selfish, rich people are whatever, right? And then if you believe that, how, and this is the controversy, if you believe that rich people are evil and at the same time you want to be rich, that doesn't work, right? You've got a controversy in your head which doesn't work because it's the exact opposite of what you want. You don't want to be evil. I assume you don't want to be evil, right? Then that doesn't work that you want to be rich. So that's why there's a controversy in your head. Now, important about beliefs is that a lot of time you have to discover them for yourself and really think, is it your belief that you have from yourself? Because for yourself. So with money, it's really easy because when this whole thing of money doesn't grow on trees, or you can't afford this, this might be something you have heard from your parents. So your parents might went out when you were a little child and you went into a grocery store and said, I want to buy this bike. And mom said, we can't afford it. We don't have any money. And you're like, okay. Then you go into the next shop and says, I would like to have this, I don't know, ball. And then the mom says, we can't afford it. We don't have any money. So you keep hearing that sentence. Now you grow up, you're 20 years old, you go into a shop and you want to buy a car. Or you want to buy, I don't know, furniture for your house, and you're like, well, I better gonna buy the cheap option over there, like the $3 chair, not the $300 chair, because I can't afford it. We don't have any money. And guess what? That belief didn't come from you, it came from your mom. And that's holding you back actually earning more money. So this is now, in a nutshell, how this works for me. I realized what were my own beliefs and what were beliefs from other people. So I went through all topics: health, love, money, like the 3 big topics. And I was thinking of, what do I believe about these topics and about myself and everything which is something I wanted to improve. And then I figured out, okay, so these are all the sentences I had for myself, and then I tried to figure out, is this actually true for myself? So every single sentence I had in my head, I was questioning, thinking, is it me? Was there someone else who said that to me? And if someone else said that to me, why did they say that? Probably because they had a bad experience. So it doesn't belong to me, so I pushed it out of my head. Simple as that. And then I created my own. And the best way of, when you have something negative in your head, like a negative sentence, you need to try to formulate it into something positive. So if you want something really, really badly, there's a way of saying it in a positive way. So saying like, I wish I could go on holiday. Yeah, that's not really gonna work, right? Because you're wishing that you're going on holiday. It's like this thing we had before, it's not gonna really work. What you're gonna need to say is, I am going on holiday to Bangkok on that day with this person, and I'm gonna have a lot of money to spend for fun and satisfaction. Whatever, I don't know. You have to be very specific, and you have to quote it and state it as if it already happened, or if it is going to happen. You have to speak in the future, and you have to speak future words, and then it really works. Yeah, this is probably gonna be an endless video, but I want you to understand this because it's so freaking important, and it's gonna make your life so much easier. The other thing is, you have to practice this. It's not just like you're gonna lie in bed, close your eyes and say, okay, Mark said I have to do this, and tomorrow I got my Ferrari in front of the door. That's not exactly how this works, but I'm not saying it couldn't happen, because you could win the lottery in the next day, right? Let's say that. But you have to believe it to your gut. That is the important thing. You cannot trick your mind. Your mind will know if you are shitting or not, because your mind is quite smart. It will know if you're trying to trick it or not. So you actually really have to believe it. So that's why start with something you think you really can achieve, and then you start increasing your wish power, so to speak, and whatever is going to happen in your life. Because we're programmed like this. If we have success with something, we start setting the next goal on top of it, and we get used to it. So it's this thing of, you achieved your body shape at one point, and you look in the mirror and you're like, well, that's me now, you know, I look like this. So you accept yourself, and you're like, okay, let's see if I can lose some more weight, or I can gain some more muscle. But you've got a different starting point. Same thing with money, right? So you achieve that income on the end of the month, every month, and you're like, okay, that's cool. I can live with $5,000. Let's try 8,000. See how that feels like. And then you keep going, right? Or if it's 200 and you want 500 bucks a month, it doesn't really matter what number you put into your head, right? So you have to really make sure it works for you. Yeah, I think I want to share this with you because it does work for everyone. I do believe that too. See, that's my belief. I do believe it because I know it works. And it can be so easy for everyone. So I guess this is like an appel to you to try this out. Think of something you want in your life, in the future, in the near future, and then really think. And this is the thing which is really interesting for me. When I look back in my life, and this was something, it was an exercise I've done, and you might do that as well. The easiest way, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about today, and then we're going to cut this off. If there was something in your life you really, really wanted so strongly, and everyone has that, it could be a pen you really wanted, a car, a relationship, a body, whatever, or something. Think of something in your life you really wanted, and then figure out how you did it. Because I bet you were wishing, you were thinking of this thing, you were trying, you were imagining having it. You basically do this unconsciously when you really want something. And now use that power, that exact thing you do, and it might be different for everyone. So like what I explained I do with my visualization, someone else might not be able to visualize it, but he feels it, he knows how it is to have it. And then, you know, it happens to that person. So figure out what it is for you, and then go after it in the future for things you want and you haven't had. Because it's like in NLP we say it's a model. It's a model you have to recreate, and it's pretty simple. You're gonna do step 1, 2, 3 for yourself, or maybe only 2 steps, or it's 5 steps you do to reach your goal. Repeat that for everything else you want, and you're gonna see it's gonna be really easy for you. So I'll leave you with that thought. Leave a comment box below.
And I know this might be a very controversial video, but you know, that's what videos are about, and YouTube. To bring discussions to YouTube. I'll see you guys tomorrow.